Hello and welcome back to the Write Your Path podcast. My name is Lolly Spindler. I'm a writer, editor, book doula, and writing coach. And today on the podcast, we have my friend Anna Rose, who is the owner of Amorcita Gelato here in Mexico City. And we met maybe like a year ago now.
Oh, maybe even longer actually.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple years ago.
We met at Soho House, and then she did a gelato workshop at Soho House. And I was like, wow. I had no idea that gelato making was like chemistry. Like you're basically in a chemistry lab.
A science.
It is a crazy science. And she's also had a lot of success with her gelato shop here in Mexico City. So I also wanted to talk to her about her journey in entrepreneurship. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lolly. Very happy to be here.
Yay. Okay. So just like give us the rundown. What kind of has been your personal professional journey that has led you here to sitting with me in Mexico City?
So it's been a bit of a roller coaster, to be honest. Well, not a roller coaster, but one major pivot. So I was a high school geography teacher for 7 years. So I studied geography at university. Originally, I'm from London. I studied in Manchester. And then I taught geography at a secondary school in London for 5 years.
Wow.
Realised this was kind of before and then during the pandemic. Got quite burnt out. Definitely, it was very emotionally exhausting, especially during the pandemic.
Oh man, especially with the kids.
With the kids, a lot of mental health issues for kids and adults, and
Yikes.
It was a lot. So I decided that I wanted to move abroad. I've always wanted to live abroad. I'd visited Mexico before and fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So I got a job teaching at an international school here in Mexico City, which I did for 2 years. And then I realised I want to stay in Mexico City, but I don't want to be a teacher anymore.
Yeah.
So
you lasted a lot longer than I did.
7 years is quite good. They say
I was
you
a
get
teacher for 2
7
years, and I was like, that's enough.
It's a lot. I really admire all the teachers out there. It's an amazing profession.
Same. It gives you so much respect.
So much respect.
And wow.
Which often they don't get. Especially in the UK. I think some countries, they prioritize teachers more in terms of salary, respect, but in the UK, I don't know, in the US.
Oh, in the US, it's terrible.
Yeah, you're treated like rubbish.
Yes, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And then I've always been very into food, cooking. So I started making, what was then ice cream as a hobby. And I realised in Mexico City, there's such a big ice cream culture, but there's very few sort of authentic Italian gelato shops. Which I thought was a bit of a gap in the market.
So look at you, entrepreneurial already.
Well, now there's loads of gelato shops, but back then, this is sort of 2-3 years ago, there wasn't that many. Sort of Joe's Gelato, a few others, but only 2 that I thought were good. So I decided to quit teaching, go to Italy, study gelato, and then open up Amorcita Gelato.
Oh my God. So how was that transition? Once you decided you were going to kind of transition out of your full-time teaching role and going to pursue this passion full-time, what did that mentally, emotionally, what did that look like for you?
Honestly, mentally, it was very exhilarating, especially at the start. There was that sweet spot between quitting teaching in July, end of the school year, and then in October I went to Italy to study the gelato. Those were just glorious months, I was in Italy studying gelato. I hadn't quite had to worry yet about finding a locale and all the business side of things. So those first few months were euphoric. It was nice not to be waking up at 6 a.m. every day. It was nice to be in Italy. And then kind of when I got back from Italy in the November, that's when I kind of started looking for a locale. And that was actually quite stressful. There was a lot of bureaucratic things I had to sort out, registering the business. I had a locale on Amsterdam initially.
Oh, wow.
And I had it in my head, this would be a great spot for it. It's a great street, it's very beautiful. And I wasted about sort of 3 months with the proprietario telling me I can rent the space, and then he pulled out, and he was very particular, he wouldn't let us do any maintenance to the space because it was a listed building. And in hindsight, everything happens for a reason, and I'm very glad that spot fell through because it would have been a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was stressful, and then the stress of you're not earning a living.
Yeah.
So I kind of budgeted for not earning a living for about a year.
Oh great.
With my savings from teaching. What I didn't envision is that obviously the whole project would go over budget, so I'd end up having to put my money into that. And then also when I opened the business, I couldn't pay myself a salary for like at least the first 6 months.
Wow.
And even now to this day, like I'm not paying myself a big salary. This is a year and a half in. So, I mean, I'm seeing the long-term goal.
Yeah.
But I guess that is one of the sort of more difficult things that people probably don't talk about starting a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really difficult. And it's also funny because when you start a business, it's kind of like the school of hard knocks. Like you're literally just like learning as you go. And so you studied like your passion of like making gelato and you learned that, but then all of a sudden you were thrown into like, oh wait, I didn't learn anything about actually like starting a business, doing like real estate, especially since you have like a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
So how was that transition like for you once you went from, okay, I have all this knowledge about like how I want to make gelato and like this beautiful place I want to create, but now I have to do all this like admin stuff. How was that?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely in a way a bit naive. You know, I envisioned myself in this beautiful space making gelato every day, easy breezy. What I didn't envision is constantly being on the shop floor at the start because we only had one other employee. So for the first nearly year, it was just me and Roberto. Shout out Roberto, miss you, who was our first employee and then became manager. So that was really tough, long hours. And then on top of it, making the gelato, on top of it, like you said, being an accountant, doing the marketing and social media. The main thing that I think has helped is that I am very, very organized. So I think that's definitely been a benefit, but it's been a big baptism by fire, and I'm still learning. Luckily now I do have like a really good team of accountants.
Amazing.
Who help do like, you know, contracts for new employees, tax stuff, all of that. So yeah, I'm very lucky that I've found like a good team, but also I had a great woman at the start, Itzel, who helped me with the permisos for Mexico. So it's kind of like a big part of the skill of being, I think, an entrepreneur and opening a business is also finding good people to help you. Yeah. And knowing like where you should put your money and who to invest it into and who not to. What I wouldn't do is invest it into the guy who did the electrics first time round because he did a bloody awful job, which we're still feeling a year and a half later. Yeah. Maintenance is tough. Things are always breaking. So just when you think, oh, we're doing quite well financially, something breaks.
Oh God.
So yeah, it's a journey. It's a real journey. But in general, I feel super grateful that I took this step, and I feel very blessed to be here doing it in Mexico. And there's many benefits obviously that come with having your own business. Yeah.
And I definitely agree. I think like your network and your community is so important, especially as an entrepreneur, and especially if you're starting it by yourself. Like if you don't have a partner who has experience, like, and it's just you. So I think that's really great that you had like those people, especially being like someone local to Mexico to help you with all of like the processes. That has to be, I mean, I've only ever gotten my residency, but it's still a fucking nightmare. So
oh gosh, when we set up the business, I had to go to IMS to like register the business for tax reasons. Every time I went, there was a small bit of paperwork missing, even though I'd like got every bit on the guidelines. I went back 3 times. But yeah, what you said about community is really important. Like a good friend of mine, Oscar, who's actually from Mexico City. I couldn't have done it without him. He really supported me at the start, helping me find good people like to do the like physical work on the shop. But also he did all of the graphic designs, and just having like a good friend who was local was invaluable.
Yeah. That's amazing. I can't imagine like doing any process now. Even with my residency, I was like, I need a lawyer. Like I don't want to fuck this up. No. And it's like too important, you know?
Even the lawyers, like I've got a lawyer at the moment who has helped me register the business so that I can sponsor people like with immigration. He's had issues. So I'm like, if this trained professional is having issues, me with my, you know, intermediate to nearly fluent, but not quite fluent Spanish would very much struggle.
Yeah. It's definitely starting a business, especially a physical business in a foreign country, is like a whole other like layers of complexity and layers of complexity.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Good for you that you made it work.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I want to learn more about like your time in Italy and like the actual studying of gelato, because that's fascinating to me. I don't know if there's any foodies listening, but I'm definitely one. So I want to learn about that selfishly.
So it's actually called Gelato University.
I love that.
So I was choosing between, when I decided to do this, I was like, I've got to go to Italy and study it properly. I really wanted to get sort of nerdy with it, the science. I think it's so nice, like as an adult, to be able to go back and study something you're super passionate about. Because I think you take it for granted a bit when you're in school and university, college. So I found this Gelato University. It's quite clever. It's actually called Carpigiani Gelato University.
Okay.
And Carpigiani are basically the oldest manufacturers of gelato machines.
Oh. So
they were quite clever in the sense that they were like, if we teach more people the art of making gelato, we'll sell more machines.
Wow, that's actually really smart.
It's it's known as the best course in the world. They now do it in Italy. The headquarters is in Bologna. That's where I studied. They do it twice a year in English, Spanish, and Italian.
Wow.
So 3 different courses twice a year. They now even have a campus in the US.
Oh,
so you
cool.
can study Carpigiani in the US, their headquarters is in North Carolina, which I actually went to because I was part of a gelato competition.
Interesting.
But apparently it's like dairy country.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
that makes more sense. I
I've
was like, I don't
never been
know.
to the South or North Carolina. Is North Carolina the South?
I think it's considered, part of the South.
Okay.
I've never been either.
US
Yeah, the Carolinas are part of the South.
Yeah,
I know you're the geography major.
I know, but US geography is something different.
I'm terrible at geography, so I don't even know the US.
Yeah, so North Carolina, it is very dairy country.
Okay.
And then they even now have a campus in China, I think.
Oh, wow.
So they're really, there's going to be competition arising.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, but it's very good and it's an amazing course. And I mean, it was, like you said, it was a real science. So like in the morning, it was from 9 till 5 every day.
Okay.
In the morning, 9 till 2 was pure theory.
Wow.
So you were in a classroom. It was almost like a kind of seminar set up. There was 30 of us on the course. You know, you have to do lots of mathematical equations as well, because gelato is all about balancing the different ingredients. So the fat contents with the sugar, with the milk solid non-fats, with all of the different elements. So once you kind of learn the elements of the gelato and how it affects it, for example, sugar, obviously it sweetens it to the taste, but it also is like massively antifreeze, and different types of sugars have different antifreeze powers.
Wow.
So, for example, sorry if I'm going too much.
No, I love it. I want to know all the nerdy stuff.
For example, sucrose, which is like the main sugar that's found, like, you know, your table sugar, your sugar you buy from the supermarket is sucrose. Sucrose, because it's like the standard one, it has a sweetening power of 1 and a antifreeze power of 1.
Okay.
Whereas dextrose, another type of sugar that I use in gelato, that has a sweetening power of 90%.
Okay.
Which basically means, and an antifreeze of 1, which basically means if I want something to stay soft and not freeze, but I don't want it so sweet, I'll probably use a bit more dextrose than sucrose.
Oh.
To put it simply, there's many others as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
And then you've got like your honeys and your inverted sugars, agave, loads of stuff. And then you've got to factor in, you know, water content, stuff like that. So all of this I learned on the course. Before, like at my house, I was just kind of, I bought a very basic ice cream machine. I was practicing. I was looking at recipes online and kind of mimicking them and making my own ones. But I didn't understand the science. Like at home, I once made a tahini one.
Ooh.
And I just put way too much tahini in. Tahini, like sesame paste, is super fatty. And it just was like rock solid.
Wow.
Because I hadn't balanced it enough with the sugars and the fats. Whereas now, in the shop, tahini is one of our best sellers, and it's like super smooth, super creamy. I would say perfectly balanced.
Ooh.
Have you tried that one?
I don't think I've tried that one.
Oh, you got to try it.
I gotta do
Yeah.
Unless you had it at the workshop.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay.
I can't remember what I did at the workshop.
There was a lot of them. I
was
had
so
those in
long-
my freezer.
That-
I was like, this is dangerous.
That is so long. Yes, you took them at the end, didn't you?
I was like,
That.
are these going in the trash?
No,
Because
I'm
I will
glad.
rescue them.
I'm glad. Yeah. That means then, because that was, the shop hadn't opened yet when I did that workshop. Oh no, it had just opened. So that was about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we met 2 years ago.
Oh wow! Oh my God! Time
Time
is
flies.
flying.
Time flies. And we look the same.
Yeah, that's true. We totally do. We look better, actually.
Exactly. Well, we actually met getting haircuts. They were doing free
that's
haircuts at Soho House. And Lolly and I love it. Well, I love a freebie. I was like, I've just got my membership. I was like, I'm getting this free haircut. I think we were like the first ones there.
Yeah.
And that was at the start, and they used to do all these events with like free wine and cheese.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. We need to bring those back.
I know they do. I was like, I need another haircut.
Yeah, me
What's
too. Me too.
It's my free haircut. That was probably that was my last haircut. That's so terrible.
2 years ago.
I'm like, oops. Oh well. So I know like it was very much like chemistry for you, but also is an art.
It is an art.
So like, can you talk about that? Like how you kind of balance the chemistry science side of it, but also like the art of it? Because I know you play with lots of really interesting flavors. And like one of my personal favorites is the cempasúchil.
Oh yes.
The carnation. So she made a carnation gelato for Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
And it was like, it literally tasted like a carnation smells. And I was like, what? It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the funnest bit of it for me, making new flavors. Like if I could just sort of be in the kitchen all day making new flavors, I would love that. Unfortunately, the business requires me to be doing like a million things at once. But yeah, that's the joy. So after the theory bit,
or a marigold, not a carnation, right? Is it a marigold?
It's a marigold.
It's a marigold. Sorry,
wrong translation. Marigold. Yeah, the afternoon of the course in Italy was practical. So putting it into, and with that we were doing sort of like infusions, which I found really interesting. So when I made that cempasúchil one, I actually used the dry petals and did an infusion, almost like a tea gelato.
Cool.
You can use the fresh ones as well, but I did a taste test and I think it worked better with the dry, just for a more earthy flavour. But honestly, I just love food. So I love food. I love learning about different flavours. Yeah, when I opened it, I kind of wanted it to be sort of like some traditional Italian flavours, like your pistachio, your dark chocolate and salt, but also just like some interesting, exciting flavours. So we change the flavours every 2-3 days. This morning I just made a Zazzamora cheesecake.
Oh, what?
Blackberry cheesecake gelato.
Oh my god.
Which is really nice. Yeah, there's kind of two schools of thoughts. Like half the people love traditional, not with bits.
Okay.
The other half of people, my boyfriend included, is like, can we put some bits in there? Can we put some brownie pieces, some cheesecake pieces? So I do a bit of both.
Okay.
But yeah, I get a lot of inspiration from like food I eat, food from different countries. So it's hard to say like, I mean, the whole thing about Amorcita is that we use like local ingredients. So that does kind of push us towards lots of Mexican flavors, which is great. But then on top of that, like one of my favorite flavors that I came up with and won a competition with was a coffee cardamom orange blossom.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and that was actually inspired by like Middle Eastern flavors.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, it's a real mixture. But that is the art and the creative side of it. That's my favorite bit for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and it totally comes out because when I go to your shop and I'm like, ooh, what's new now? I'm like always so impressed by like flavors I've never seen anywhere else before. So it's very cool.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
You say that though, but we did once receive a Google review, a 1-star, because we sold out pistachio. So great to have new flavors, but some people are very like, the pistachio is it is our best seller. And when we don't do the pistachio, people kick up a fuss.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, I'm glad you like to try new flavors, but not everyone does. Yeah.
How has that been, like the customer management side of it, and like taking people's feedback versus ignoring people's feedback? How is that?
If the creative art side's my favourite, the Google reviews are definitely my unfavourite. I mean, we got like, what people don't realise is, I mean, I would only ever leave a review if it's like really good and I want to support the business, or if I maybe like had severe food poisoning or someone was really rude.
Yeah.
That would be my only reason to leave a 1-star, especially for a small business.
Yes.
Maybe a chain is a bit different. But like a small independent business, if someone leaves you a 1-star or a 2-star review, even a 3-star, it drags you down. So like when we got that 1-star review, because we'd sold out pistachio, we went from a 4.8 on Google to a 4.7. Since then, we've probably had about, because I'm trying to encourage people to leave reviews. Everyone leave a Google review, please.
I'll link
Even
to
if you haven't been.
I'll link to it in the show notes.
And yeah, so we've probably since then had I'd say about 50 5-star reviews, and we're still on 4.7. It hasn't dragged us up. And then every now and then we might get like a 3-star or a 4-star, and it's kind of maintaining us at 4.7. Like personally, I'd really like to be back up at the 4.8, 4.9. But like, for example, last week we got a 2-star review saying that the gelato was excellent, but the portion size they found a bit small. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Well, not fair enough, because, it's a standard portion size, 100 grams small, 120 medium, which is in line with everywhere.
Your response is just like a photo of like
they said
serving sizes.
Exactly. Yeah, I should do that. And it's exhausting replying. At the start, I quite enjoyed replying to the reviews. Now it's exhausting. But yeah, they said the gelato is excellent. I'm like, the gelato is excellent. Is that really a 2-star review?
Yeah, exactly.
If you thought it was a bit small?
No, it would just go to a 4 instead of a 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, something to think about.
Wow.
For people listening.
When you're leaving Google reviews, especially of like small locally owned businesses.
Yes. And
like be generous,
if that
please.
2-star person's listening, please change it. Please change it.
Oh my God. So what has been like your favorite aspect of having a physical space? And I know you do a lot of like events there and you have like a lot of partners. So what's kind of been like your favorite aspect of finally like getting to open up a physical space for your business?
Yeah, honestly, the physical space, it was always my dream. A lot of people were like, why don't you just start, doing it online or Uber Eats, or why don't you just start, with like a small one? But I was like, actually, we started with a small space, but people were like, like a van or something. It was always my dream to have a physical space because I wanted to do events, like community events, things that I care about, whether it's like, we've had Baitna, which is a Palestinian organisation, come and do events.
Nadine was on the podcast too.
There we go. Shout out Nadine. We've had, last night we did a speed dating event, which has been very, very popular.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's our 3rd one. And actually, like, the first one was a bit slow, like, getting the word out there, sign up. But now we're on the 3rd one. I had to stop people.
Wow.
I had to block the form because we were at full capacity.
Wow, that's amazing.
So really, really good. And we've done like vintage clothes markets, we've done women's circles, lots of different things. So for me, like, that's one of the joys about like having a physical space is bringing community together. And I've met so many incredible people through having the shop, and many people often like their feedback is like, oh, this is not only great gelato, but it's so lovely that you do these events and it feels like such a nice hub. So that's really special.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. And so how has that process been, like finding partners to do? Because I know you have like wine pourings and like,
oh yes,
I went to a whiskey event.
Oh yes.
And so how is it like finding these other people who like kind of complement the gelato and are like part of that world? How do you find them and involve them?
I mean, at the start, it was just me very much like grafting and like looking at other businesses that I had admired and seeing what they were doing, and then reaching out to other businesses. Like we did a really nice pop-up with Samade, which is an amazing, Mexican Indian restaurant. So kind of most of it was me reaching out to people. Nowadays, people do reach out to us, which is super nice.
Amazing.
So we've got a friend reaching out who wants to do a vintage clothes pop-up tomorrow. Another person reached out, they want to do a language exchange in a few weeks.
Cool.
We're actually now hosting private events as well. We've got a baby's first birthday tomorrow. So it's really, it's all happening. It's all happening. And yeah, something to note as well is that like when I first opened, we had a space and it had capacity for maybe like 4 people inside and like 4 tables and chairs outside. But as of a few months ago, we actually expanded into the space next door. So we've now got a much bigger space, like capacity for like 20 people inside. So that's kind of really opened up our ability to do more events.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it looks really cute.
Thank you.
And you have also just got beer taps. So that's exciting too.
I'm a massive football fan. Football, I mean English football for the Americans listening. Soccer, as you might say. So, I mean, in preparation for the World Cup this summer. Also, I'm English. I love a beer tap. Like, I love a pub. One of the things I really miss is, like, having a pint. So, it was always a dream of mine. So, yeah, dreams can come true.
I love that. Are you guys going to get a TV for the World Cup?
Yes.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna get a projector at the back. Yeah, super excited.
Oh, my God.
As much football as possible.
I love that.
And
I'm
beer.
so excited.
And beer.
Maybe we can get tickets to a game. We'll see.
Definitely. I've actually got tickets to a game.
I'm so jealous.
I got very lucky. I bought a ticket in the ballot. Didn't know who it would be. It's in Dallas because all the ones in Mexico had sold out. And it happens to be England, Croatia.
No way!
It's honestly a dream come true.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But next week I'm actually going to Guadalajara to watch Jamaica in the World Cup playoff.
Ooh.
So they're playing Democratic Republic of Congo on Tuesday. My boyfriend's half Jamaican, so I got him tickets.
That's so
and then
cool.
whoever wins will qualify for the World Cup.
Oh
so
my God.
let's hope it's Jamaica.
Yeah. Let's hope, or you might have a crying boyfriend.
Otherwise we've just gone to Guadalajara. I mean, Guadalajara is great. But
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. So I'm really curious about kind of your supply chain and how you said like you're sourcing all local ingredients. So like, who did you partner with? Who did you find? Where are you finding? Because I know you have like all these fun flavors like we've talked about. So where do you go to like find these ingredients locally in Mexico City?
That is a very, very good question, and it was something that was not easy at the start. That was really difficult. Luckily, I had time. Like, I had about nearly a year between like doing the course and opening the shop, and in that time, that's when I was looking for the suppliers. The biggest issue was dairy, because here in Mexico, a lot of the time, the milk and cream is really over pasteurized. I guess it's because of climate. It's to do with like hygiene standards and stuff, and generally what happens is it has a slightly lower fat content than what I was used to in like the UK or training in Italy, and that if your whole milk and cream fat content's lower, then your whole, you know, your recipes that I developed in Italy were all off, and I had to redo them all. So that was really tough, but then I got really lucky. I found an incredible milk supplier in Texcoco called Oscar, but he's got a base here. And it was really important for me as well to like find like small scale local suppliers. So I found Oscar, shout out Oscar, we love you and your milk. And then I found an amazing cream supplier in Estadio de Mexico. That actually was Brie from Expendio de Maze kindly gave me this contact. So again, leaning on like community. And what I would say about Mexico is I was overwhelmed by how supportive everyone in the food and drinks industry has been to me at the start. I sort of reached out to businesses I knew. I knew a few people in the industry, but not that many. Like Farah from Bagels La Poo, she's been
she's great.
Massive help and kind of mentor. But yeah, reaching out to other people like Scarlett from Cicatrice and things like that, and they've been so useful. So found the milk and cream, which was the most important. Well, that's the majority ingredient. Milk, cream, and sugar. In case anyone's wondering, is the majority ingredient. Oscar also does sugar. Which was great, sucrose. Wow. But then obviously there's different types of sugars. So there is actually, like I found a supplier that does like ice cream gelato ingredients for all the different types of sugars. Oh, wow. In terms of fruits, this was just great serendipity. Basically, my local juice guy, do you know Pepe down the road by Parque España? Anyway, he's a little puesto who does juices. And I'd always get my morning juice from him. And I just thought, I was struggling to find like a good supplier. And I just thought, let me just ask Pepe if he sells like fruit by the bulk, and he does. So he delivers it to me. Like I message him the day before I need it. He delivers it to me in bulk. He also delivers what's very, very useful is lime juice ready squeezed, because that saves me like a ton of time, especially with the sorbets. All the sorbets have a bit of lime in, and then obviously if you're making lime sorbet, you know that's like 3 kilos of lime just in so dang, it's a lot. In terms of chocolate, again, the chocolate is from where's the chocolate from? From Veracruz, along with the vanilla, which is amazing. What I didn't realise, because most people use Madagascan vanilla, that actually vanilla is from Mexico. It was first propagated by a slave in Veracruz who worked out how to like extract the vanilla. What? It's a really interesting story. You should look it up. Oh my God. And what's interesting is like the vanilla from Veracruz is incredible. It's like super spiced. So it's almost got this kind of like slightly almost like slightly cardamom, slightly peppery taste to it, which Madagascan vanilla doesn't have. So an absolute joy to be able to use, you know, Mexican vanilla, which incredible. Has an amazing flavor profile. What else? Coffee from Oaxaca. I found an amazing supplier there. The only thing that isn't from Mexico is, don't hate me for this, actually the tahini. Because I buy it from a supplier and it's from the Middle East. And the pistachios. So actually Mexican pistachios are very different to Italian pistachios. So I use a mixture of Mexican and Italian. The Italian ones are a lot oilier, and kind of they get you, well, even when you like make it into a paste, it's a lot darker than the Mexican one. It's a lot more expensive as well, as you'd imagine, like importing it. But luckily I've got like a really good, well, the pistachio is one of the favorites, as I said. I've got a really good recipe I've made where I'm using like a mixture of a good ratio of Italian and Mexican pistachios. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Wow. So that was like a huge learning curve even
taking your business to Mexico.
Oh
I feel
my
like if you were to take this business to anywhere else, it would be like starting from scratch with all your
100%,
recipes.
100%.
Wow.
Especially like, yeah, if you want to use local ingredients, which obviously like, you know, better for the environment, better to support like the economy, local economy. So yeah, let's hope I don't try and open anywhere else.
Yeah.
Well, no, not let's hope I will. But
maybe start within Mexico.
Yeah, we'll expand in Mexico first and cover the rest of the world.
That's crazy. So it sounds like you have definitely imbued your values into your business. So if you could talk about some of those core values that you have that you made sure were represented in your business.
Yeah. I mean, I think like teaching geography, I've always been like, you know, very interested in the environment, obviously climate change. So like sustainability and like making sure that the business is sustainable in terms of like environmentally, so low carbon footprint, locally sourced ingredients, but then also like economically, so supporting Mexico. I was also quite aware that like, you know, as a foreign business owner in Mexico, you are at a privilege.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really important, like, well, A, to like employ all local people, B, to make sure that it's a business for locals and expats and not just become, you know, a hub for tourists and expats. And C, support local suppliers. So I think, yeah, the sustainability, like environmentally, economically, and socially was really kind of at the core and the heart of Amorcita.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
Thank you.
So what would you say has been like your biggest lesson, like birthing this baby from being like a pandemic passion into like a full-time business? What has been like your biggest takeaway and your biggest lesson that has just been like, okay, this is why I was supposed to do this. This is the impact I'm having, or whatever you've kind of learned.
I would say, like, I mean, I'm still learning, and I will continue to be still learning forever, I think. But I would say, like, finding good people, like I said, whether it's like a good plumber, whether it's a good handyman, because what happened at the start is like, I was so keen to open that I rushed a lot of stuff, like maintenance wise. Like the guy who did the electrics was awful, and like I'm still dealing with the effects and like the cost and, you know.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, not rushing things, finding good people that you can trust, which isn't always easy. Finding, you know, I've got an amazing team now, so finding a great team of staff. So yeah, just kind of acknowledging like you can't do anything by yourself.
Yeah.
So finding a great community of people that work for the business, but also that like come to the business, customers, friends. Yeah, and I think that's been like a beautiful thing to discover, you know.
Oh, I love that. And what are some of like the skills that have translated from teaching
Well,
to running a gelato shop? I'm curious.
Ironically, last night when I was running the speed dating event, you know, shouting, not that I'd shouted a lot as a teacher, but like trying to organise everyone to like stop talking and move on to the next day. It very much felt like organising children in a classroom. So that's one. Definitely just organisation has helped massively. Like if you're not organised, you lose track of stuff, because as an entrepreneur, you are constantly doing a million things.
Yeah.
Like making the gelato, running the business, social media, employment, like the list is endless. So organisation is definitely a transferable skill.
Yeah.
And I think just like emotional intelligence, you know, like in order to get people to be on board with you, whether it's your like team of staff or whether it's like customers, you know, you need to kind of like, they need to see you as human, and you need to treat them, you know, with empathy and respect.
Yeah.
And also get them on board to like understand the business and the long-term goals, which is similar to kids, you know.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody listening who wants to start a brick and mortar business, what would be like your tips and your advice for them as they, you know, want to take their passion project full time?
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely say originally write a business plan. I wrote a loose business plan. You know, I looked online for, it's something I'd never done before. I've never had a business, so I looked online. I think that's really important, just more to organise your own thoughts. And then it's something that you can also lean on later on. Like, for example, after a year, I actually then got some investment to open the bigger space. So then I could lean on that initial business plan that I wrote to just look at the progress and the profits. And so that's definitely something I would recommend. Write a business plan. Also just do it.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of people are like, oh, I've always dreamed of having a cafe, I've always dreamed of doing this. But like you can do it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. It won't be easy. Like I don't want anyone to think, you know, suddenly I have a gelato shop and it's great and it's making loads of money, and you know, we are luckily turning a profit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it's like personally, you know, it was a big investment for
Yeah.
me, and you know, you won't be able to pay yourself a good salary for at least the first 2 years, maybe longer. So we shall see. So that's a risk and something you kind of need to be prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the good outweighs the bad. Like I can take holiday whenever I like, really, in theory. And I've got an amazing team, and I can, you know, make gelato all day if I want to. It's like it's a joy. But yeah, I think just being aware that it is a journey and there's highs and lows.
Yeah.
But I do think the good outweighs the bad, and you know, it's amazing to have like created something and something that I'll, you know, hopefully have for the foreseeable future, and you know, one day I can take a step back and it will be turning a profit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be sitting back on my millions. That's
not have to be as involved in the day to day.
Exactly.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
If somebody wants to find you online, where can they find you to come see Amorcita and you and all the things in a row?
Yeah, so our Instagram is at Amorcita Gelato, all one word. My Instagram is at annarose.lim. And yeah, you can look us up on Google Maps. Ignore the 2-star review about the sizes being too small. And yeah, please do come to the shop, stop by, say hi. It's always nice to connect with people.
Yeah, and she was also featured in a New York Times article recently, so we will also link to that. How was that process, by the way? Did they just like reach out and were like, hey, we're...
Yeah, they just reached out to a few different women in the city. It was actually, it was a really nice experience. Some of the women, though, from the article didn't think it was a nice experience because basically the article was kind of pitched as entrepreneurial women in Mexico City, but then it did also touch on issues of gentrification, which I think is important because it is a big issue here, and like as a foreigner, it is something we need to be aware of and do what we can to support locals. But I think some of the women in the article were upset that it went that way
when they hadn't been advised. Yeah, that it would.
But for me, it was a positive experience. They also interviewed some of the guys that work at Amorcita, which was lovely. So yeah, and also just very cool to be on the New York Times.
Yeah, that's very cool. I know. So I had to add that. So we'll link to that.
Yes.
And also, if you are a foreigner in Mexico City, I will also link to Gringo Tax so that you can contribute to our foreigner community fund. But anyways, thank you again for being here.
Much, Lily. It's been a pleasure.
It was so lovely having you. And thank you everyone for listening. We will see you on the next one. Ciao.